delete my recordings. Crap. A mistake. Alright, I guess I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so I didn't want to make a video yesterday, nor do I want to make a video today. But I want to talk about a topic that is universal. That we all need to hear it. And sometimes maybe me too. Let's talk about this universal thing called love. People say they might not need it, but of course they need it. Because most life coach, most single people who have never had a relationship, they don't understand it. They give you advice based upon what they know, but they never understand what it's truly to be in love or to love someone. But today, I wanted to give praise, and I am proud of this person, even though he might not understand what I'm doing or what I try to do. But I see his character is more the way that he do things for the family. People when they say they don't need love, or when life coach or single people say, "Oh, love yourself first, and then you'll love," then how can you love yourself if you can't love others? But that's wrong. Human beings has the ability to love and care for one another, and I do see that. You know. Um, so, and I was just recently watched how to know when someone loves you. You know when someone loves you when they sacrifice their needs and happiness above their own, and to make you happy. You know, there's different levels of love in family dynamics. Um, there's love in a relationship, of course, love for yourself, of course, but also people who are single, they said they don't need love, but of course they say the opposite thing. They do need love, right? But they're just too proud of, and sometimes they're afraid not to do anything. Sometimes they have their own stories within their head. So people who are life coach or who are spiritual, they said um, people don't need love, but matter of fact, you do need love from your parents. What's the point? Why are you trying to get love from your parents? Why are you trying to get affection from them? Because when you're a kid, the parents should be your protector, the provider when you're a kid, and also should give you the attention and love that you need, so you can grow into um, a better person. Because your kids is a repetition of your habits, your thoughts, and who you are as a person, your principles, what you do. It's not, most people say, most when you're a kid you watch, because the kids has mirror neurons, they copy you, right? But the kids want love from you, so if you don't give the kids love, that's, and then soon the kids will find love somewhere else, and they do things that bad for them. But see, single people don't think about these things. They don't think. But when you're in a relationship with someone, you want them to be happy, not just you. So this man, he his character, you know, I this guy, I love him. Now, you probably think, no, it's not like that. I'm straight. But I'm proud that showed me he showed me something, that even though we have our differences, right? Because, you know, my I don't have a religion. I just, there's good things and merit in different aspect of religion. Um, so this guy, he sacrificed for the family. He sacrificed to make us happy. He sacrificed, you know, above his own needs, because for him, his happiness come from the family happy. He care for us. He love us. And that man, he have the ability to forgive others who have hurt him. He said, just let it go. Don't worry about it. That's all he say. But inside I can see, you know, that pain, regret. But I admire him for the ability that no matter what, he make us, he give to make us happy instead of his own. That's the meaning of love, right? To have a family. Now, most people don't understand um, what it is to love or have a relationship. You have to, when you're in a relationship, you have to do stuff that you make a decision, whether to do this thing or not, to sacrifice you want this thing or to make the other person happy. And I have to make a decision whether to give up the thing that I love the most to give someone something that they care about the most. That is the hardest thing because I care deeply more than anything in the world. It's my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, my books, and my family. But things that come first is Yu-Gi-Oh card for me and books. That's it. The things that is hard to make a decision is my books and my cards. But then to love someone, you have to sacrifice these things. I had to sacrifice my cards, my books. Right? Anyway, to give someone your love and affection, most life coach tell you, your parents also need love too from you as a kid because they love you. They born you out and they give birth to you. But vice versa, the parents should treat their kids. See, think about this. If you're a parent, and if most of people who are listening, they're parents, they understood that they know when you're a baby, when you're a kid, you give your kids love, affections, and needs above your own, and you make sacrifice as a parent, right? And we all know this, except we teach people the opposite and say don't need love, self-love first, so you can love others. But that's the opposite of what you're putting out there, and it doesn't make sense. And so the only reason why I get to say this because I come from a background of when I was a kid, I have to do things that most kids don't do. Or maybe it's also Spanish people too. They do this, but Asian people. When I was a kid, probably like when I was like 10 or 9, or I had to pick my brothers and sister home from school, and then I had to take them go to school and go to home, vice versa. And I had to take the act of leading role as a parent. I had to go. So what was it? 2 days ago, I had to go. I wanted to meet my old friend to play Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he's a good person. He's a good person. But it was fun, man. I miss those days when we play. But so let's talk about this. My neighbor. It was weird, but not weird weird in a good way. So I think either I was going shopping. I don't know what I was doing, but I was going home, and I was almost near to my house. So he said, "Come on." He picked me up. He drive me to the house because we lived near each other. And that day he was nice. I know he say things out of care. People say things out of love, out of care for you. because they love you and they care. But I guess because he says something that hurt me and he can see that, so he tried to amend for that. But that day, like, I was like, people have the ability to care. Like, I don't care what it is. My friends, neighbors, they have the ability to care. So I tweeted out, to forgive is not one time, isn't it? It's endless. Forgiveness, to love isn't one time, isn't it? To care isn't one time. To be kind isn't one time. It's endless cycle. It isn't one time that you care for your kids, is it? You have, even though when they become adult, you're always gonna care for them. You're always gonna worry about them. Um, the peop. Let me see. It's like this. When people say, "What make you say these things where you don't even have kids?" Well, as growing up, I took a leading role as a parent. I had to take care of my brothers and sisters. I understand that because it's an Asian culture. I don't even know it's an Asian thing. I don't even know. It's weird. But I was interviewing a kung fu master. His name is Freddie, and he was, he had a lot of. I watched his video and I was in pain, and of course, I empathized with him. He had a lot of negative reviews, and as you know what, I hear his pain, and I want to, get his interview and put it on my YouTube channel because I can hear it. And um, but human has the ability to care, to love, you know. And that what struck me the most is the kung fu master or Freddy. He said that work is also helping others. I was like, hmm. And he also said everybody need love. He's right. Everybody do need love, even for the single people. Even though they say the opposite things. And when single people give advice, they said, love yourself first, and you shouldn't be looking for love. Matter of fact, they are looking for love inside. Because how I know this? Because I know. Everybody need love. It's universal, man. As a kid, as an adult, come on, man. Life coach and entrepreneur, they need love and support too, right? And, you know, and sacrifice. I was watching, I don't know if I put this in yet, but sacrifice. Do you know when the person really love you, really care for you, they make sacrifice above their own needs, right? They want to make you happy. That's love, right? They hear your needs, they want to they love you, they care for you. They, they make sacrifice no matter how much they struggle inside, no matter how much things that they have to give up to make you happy. That's very interesting today. I want you guys to hear this, even the single people. Um, because family dynamics, it's a lot of sacrifice that you have to give up above your own needs to give to your kids, to give to your siblings, to your family, and to your significant other. That's giving above your own. People always talk about true love, but I wonder, do they understand sacrifice above their own needs, their own happiness? But there's a lot of things that I want to talk about that if they're single, they're better, and they don't have the confidence of enough to say what they want to say, or there are things that people do. Um, just take the courage to ask for what you want. I'm not always good at it. I'm terrible. I beat myself up all the time. It's not that I'm a confident person. It's just that sometimes I feel like I'm not enough. Sometimes I feel like, what can I give to you instead of taking, right? Um, what can I do to make you happy above my own needs or happiness, above the things that I care about the most? I'm telling you, I care about Yu-Gi-Oh more than anything in the world. I don't know. It used to be books, but now it's just cards, man. You know, yesterday, 2 days ago, when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh card with my friend, he's like, nah, because basically I build decks. There are decks that automatically make you win because the cards are too powerful, and there are other decks that you can't beat. They call it the meta, right? The meta decks and then the casual decks, right? Where the meta decks, it's like you automatically win with that deck, right? And you don't have to think about it. You don't have to strategize. The casual deck is just for fun. It's harder to beat the meta deck. And I do have some meta decks, but I don't like using them because it's not. If it's an easy win, if it's an easy win for me, I'm not gonna use that deck. I'm just gonna use it one time because it's too easy for me. I don't like it. If you're certain, if your certainty about winning and you're not learning from it, what's the point of using that deck? I need something that I can learn from. Most people who talk about struggles don't struggle but that's where the real magic begins. Where people talk about hardship, but they don't really understand about hardship, right? It's the same thing as love, right? Right? Hardship based upon love is sacrifice, right? And you learn something from each interaction, right? But that man, he have the ability to care, to give, because it make him happy. I see that because in his mind, family matters to him, right? And that we all need love from your parents, right? From your kids, if you have them. You do need them. You can't just say, what's the point of giving birth to the kids if you don't give them affection and love? What's the point? So it's like this dynamics, right? That you care for one another. I remember one time, the video Jet Li. He said he said I love you to the audience because he said we're brothers and sisters. Um, and I know Bruce Lee said something too. That we're cut under a tree or something like as a family or something. I can't remember what Bruce Lee said. I know he said it because Shannon Lee always share her dad philosophy. So there's thought that you need to think about that we all do need love from your parents, from people that you care about the most. You know, um, sacrifice. Because I saw a video about sacrifice, and that's caring. You know, your happiness above uh, your happiness. You know, sacrifice. Like, there's a lot of things that people don't understand to sacrifice your like. You have to sacrifice a lot of sleep when you have like because people when you have kids you have to train when growing up growing up when you wasn't taught the things that you need to uh been you wish that you could have learned, but these principles that whether single people relationship people, if they want to get in relationship they have to think above just sex, right? Or things that people don't understand that when what a relationship is about is procreation, to carry out your DNA, right? That is so your DNA can survive through your kids, right? My grandmother, she has one, right? Even though I'm sad that she passed away, but her DNA carried within my family, right? My mother, me, my family, my brothers, she won, right? Because the whole notion of a relation getting together is procreation, but to but the thing is that when you want your children to be better, you have to be better as a parent, as a person, right? That for me, there's things that I do that people don't understand, that I want to distill these lessons within the because I didn't have them, right? I didn't have the principles and the teaching that I wish I had, right? To change the family tree, to change the way that the the thinking goes, right? To build self-esteem within the kid, to say that, you know, you know, to tell the kids I love you, even though I don't have any kids, but I understood this, right? There's a great book that people should read. It's called um, Attached or something. I can't remember, but it's a great book, and it teaches about the attachment theory, um, and that you can see when a children is starving for love, right? That you are responsible if you give birth. If you if you don't want to give birth, don't have sex. But if you give birth to some life form, that requires sacrifice. That requires selflessness every single day to give the kids what they need. Love is an oxygen for the kid. That's why if you don't have love, you go seek somewhere else. That, ladies and gentlemen. But you have to question why you should give birth to the kids, right? Because they're you. Whatever you learn, whatever you have had habitual way of thinking, your whatever you do, your principles, your manners, uh, how you act within the world, they are you, and they will copy that. Make you think why spiritual people, law of attract people, or any life coach say you don't need love, but actually you do need love from your parents, from your kids. You want your admiration from your kids. If you're a life coach, you want them to love you, don't you? But it's tough, isn't it? That's what I want you to think about today. To all life coaches, successful people, all people. That's it today. That's it.